Hello, class. My name is Jordan Mott, and I would like to welcome you to the beautiful mind of J.R.R. Tolkien and his fantasy world of Middle-earth, and specifically the incredible story of Lord of the Rings. I'd like to begin this talk on Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth, and I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Middle-earth. One of the first locations that we learn about Middle-earth is the Shire, and the Shire is where the hobbits live. The hobbits are the small folk. They're very peaceful. They love to eat, they love to drink, and they love to grow things. And yeah, so they're just peaceful people. The next location I'd like to talk about is Rivendell. Rivendell is the main location that we are introduced to about the elves, and the elves are a very sophisticated people. They are immortal, so they have a long time to perfect their crafts that they do. So if you're a craftsman in the human world, you only have 70 years on a good year to perfect your craft and to learn it and to master it. But elves, they have thousands of years. Can you imagine that? They're just really good. But anyways, and then along with the elves, we have the humans, and the humans' main location that we talk. There are several, but the main location is Gondor. And Gondor is the kind of central kingdom that unites the forces against the powers of Sauron, who is the Lord of Mordor. And Mordor is the evil place, because one does not simply walk into Mordor. Yeah, so Mordor is the evil place where the bad guy lives, and it's very volcanic, and just think of like bad smelling, and just think of evil, and that's Mordor. Tolkien is pretty straightforward with it. But yeah, this world is the world that Tolkien created, and he created himself, and he loved this world so much that he decided to give it a story, and that story is Lord of the Rings. Now let's move on to some characters. First character, more a combo of characters that I'm going to talk about, is Frodo and Sam. Early on, and then at the end of the first movie, Frodo and Sam decide to go their separate ways from the rest of the party, and they have to take on this trip alone, but together, because alone is together for Sam. Of course you do. No, I'm going with you. Sorry. But Frodo and Sam are very lovable characters. Frodo is kind of a quiet guy. He just preferred to be to himself, and then he was put in a situation where he has to basically save the world, and he has to take this ring and destroy it in Mordor, which is the evil place. He has to go from the most peaceful place in Middle-earth to the most chaotic place in Middle-earth, and that's a big thing. But luckily, he has his best friend Sam, and Sam and Frodo are just the best combination of characters. It's beautifully written, and they're willing to die for each other, and it really brings the story together. And then along their path, they run into Gollum, and Gollum is a little thing. I don't know, best way to describe him. He's a thing, and he was at one time like a hobbit, but he was corrupted by the ring, and the ring turned him into this lustful being. So the only thing that he desired and that could bring him happiness was this ring. and so he's willing to do anything for it. So he tries to take the ring from Sam and Frodo, and he becomes a variable in the quest to destroy the ring. And then we have my favorite trio is Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Aragorn is our human friend who is the king of Gondor, but not everybody knows that. So his goal is to help Frodo in whatever way possible to destroy the ring. And Legolas is our elven friend. He's very skilled because they're very, very old, right? So he's very skilled in his archery and sword fighting and all that, and combat, and his skills provide to be very useful to the party. And then Gimli is a dwarf, and he's like the comic relief of the story. For example, when they're killing orcs, Gimli and Legolas have a competition to see who can kill the most. So you see Gimli like 1, 2, just killing all the orcs and stuff. And then Gandalf is our wise leader. He leads the party. I know I'm going over, but I'll cut it down. He leads the party, and then Sauron is the big bad guy of the party, and he unites all the orcs under his control to try and take over Middle-earth. And Lord of the Rings is just such a great movie, not just because of its story, but because of several different factors. For example, Howard Shore. Howard Shore is what really makes this movie great. His music is absolutely beautiful. And I listen to the soundtrack just because of I'll listen to the soundtrack just because. The director is Peter Jackson. He's marvelous director. I don't need to talk about Peter Jackson. But to provide some evidence on how amazing this is, these movies have won 17 Oscars in total and have been nominated for 30. The Fellowship won 4, The Two Towers won 2, and The Return of the King won all 11 nominations in the Oscars. And that is, I got that information from theonering.net, which is a source made by and is for Tolkien fans. And in conclusion, I would just highly recommend this movie. It's changed my life. I'll absolutely love it. And as you can see, it's won 17 Oscars. So it's by fans and critics alike. It is highly recommended. Thank you.